give us some prayers. Imam C. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين وإن تستفتحوا فقد جاءكم الفتح نصر من الله وفتح قريب وبشر المؤمنين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر وسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Shukran, Imam C. Bishop, you have the floor, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Lord God of mercy, of grace, of compassion, of love, we continue to call upon you as a nation. We continue to ask for your divine providence, your divine mercy, your divine grace over this land. And we also ask for your healing and for your giving, for your forgiving spirit to spread across the people of this land. We continue to ask that the spirit of patience will be in the people of this nation. So as we hear things that are unpleasant to the ear, we ask, Lord, that you will always give us the spirit of forbearance, and that we should learn that vengeance belongs to you, and you are the one who will repay on behalf of all those who are hurt. And so we continue to ask that those who will testify here will come and boldly speak the truth. This we ask through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much indeed, Bishop Rodiko. Council, are we ready with this morning's witness? If we are, let's proceed.
Indeed, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Usher, can you please usher in the witness?
Thank you.
I, Fatoumatta Jawara.
I, Fatoumatta Jawara.
I, Fatoumatta Jawara.
I, Fatoumatta Jawara.
Do swear that.
Do swear that
I will speak the truth.
I will speak the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, all. And good morning to you, Madam Jawara.
Good morning, Council.
Thank you very much for accepting our invitations. Given that you've just come back from a long journey, you're tired, but yet still you made it today. We appreciate that a lot. As you already know, my name is Mariama Singate, and I will be leading you on behalf of the Commission this morning. For your evidence today, the topics that will be focused on is number one, your educational background, so that people will get an insight of who you are as a person, your political career, your progress in politics, that is, your arrest and detention, and the impact of your arrest and detention on you and your family. For today's testimony, I'll ask that you be comfortable and calm. It is a conversation between you and I. I'm just here to lead you, to give your evidence. So if I ask a question that you are not so sure about, just stop me and I will clarify the question for you. And if you feel uncomfortable at any time or you feel that you need to take a break, do let me know and then you will take a break. I hope you're okay to start now.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Can you please tell us your names?
My name is Fatoumatta Jawara.
When and where were you born?
I was born in 89 Old Perseverance Street, Banjul.
Which year?
1983, October 13.
Can you please give us a brief of your educational background from primary school?
I started my English education at Kampama Primary School, from there to Bondong Primary School, wherein I sat on the common entrance examination and went to Greater Banjul Junior Secondary School and later to go to Senior Secondary School. Upon completion, I went to Gambia Home Economic Training Institute. From there, I enrolled to Management Development Institute, and I went on series of training on social
At MDI?
gender.
You also mentioned that you did series of trainings in Ghana.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what year that was?
That was 2005.
And when did you finish that training?
It lasts for 2 weeks.
After the training in Ghana, did you pursue any other training?
Not at all.
Can you please tell us what area of concentration you studied while you were in Ghana?
Politics.
Was it with respect to a specific field or it was just politics?
Can you repeat that question?
Was it with respect to a specific field, like politics and something, or it was just politics?
Yeah, it was about the capacity enhancement on women participation in politics.
And can you tell us what led to you participating in that particular course?
Because I was among the youths who was a political activity, then I was nominated by my party to represent them with that.
Which party was that?
United Democratic Party.
You did mention that you were among the youths in the party that was nominated to attend that course. Can you please tell us about your political activities?
My political activity was I was participating in political platform, grassroots sensitization, and I also drag women folks into politics in my area.
When did you start getting involved in politics?
This was the early career of my primary school days.
That was quite young.
Yeah.
What motivated you to enter into politics at that early age?
Yeah, I was just from school one day and I saw a crowd of politicians. They were campaigning, so I decided to stop and listen to them, where I requested an itinerary from one, I think it's Ibrahim Solo Sandeng and Lopi. So they gave me the itinerary. I went through it. After listening to the speakers in the meeting, I was motivated, so I keep following them. Sometimes I follow head guy campaigns like Fatoumatta and others. I keep their bags for them when we are going for campaign. My family do stop me sometimes, but I just keep following them. So I build relationship with many of them in the political arena.
You did mention that you did enter into politics at tender age. During the time you entered into politics, did you hold any major office?
Yes, I was a youth mobilizer at the area where I was reside, and I was also a polling agent at that time. I was also one of the youths who stood on a political platform and campaigned for a political party. I was recognized by many, and later I was nominated as the ward councillor of the area, which I narrowly lose by the then ruling party.
Can you tell us which area you're referring to?
KMC, Talending consequence.
Can you tell us the year that you were nominated into the leadership of the party?
2008, I believe.
By 2008, you were actively a youth mobilizer of the UDP, correct?
Yeah.
Apart from being a youth mobilizer, did you hold any major office in the UDP party?
Yeah, I was later elected at the Congress as the national female youth president nationwide.
As the national female youth president, can you tell us what your responsibilities entailed?
My responsibility is to mobilize youths in their large number to conduct a campaign for my party.
During the time you were actively participating as a youth mobilizer, can you tell us what the relationship was between the state and the opposition parties?
Can you please repeat the question?
Can you tell us what the relationship was between the state and the opposition parties then?
The relationship was not cordial.
You can go ahead, please.
I said the relationship was not cordial.
What do you mean by the relationship was not cordial?
There is a great risk attached to it to be an opposition during the then regime, because my life was always in a threat, and many people do advise me to stay away from politics.
Can you please tell us what kinds of threats were made on your life?
Yeah, my political opponents do stood at a platform sometimes. They use words that they will arrest me, I will be arrested. They should make me silence. I'm not the only representative at that area, but I'm just stubborn.
Can you please tell us when these threats started against your life?
This was the time when I represent my party as a polling agent. Sometimes I go into problem with them, because during the counting, I was there with the counting agents, and from there also during the campaign period, we do have some problem with our opponents in the areas.
And what year was this?
This was since I started the politics.
And yet still you continued actively participating in politics. Can you please tell us why?
Yes, I still continue being active because I know what I was doing was not illegal, one, and it's my constitutional right to choose the party of my own.
As a young woman then in politics, can you please tell us if there were other young women as you that were also engaged into politics just like you?
We do have, but those days it's very difficult for us to have position holders of young ones because many think that they will be arrested or get into some of the trouble that I went through.
You mentioned that many thought that they will be arrested or get into some of the troubles that you got through. Can you please tell us about that?
Well, there was a time we went to a meeting at Batakunku. We got arrested, and later I was released on that day, and they told me that I'm going to be an independent witness, and my colleagues were detained. So when I came back, many feel skeptical, and they told me that I should stay away. And there was a time also we went for a meeting at Trrc, where we got a problem with some police officers. I think that was the time when one of the journalists, one Seni Marina, and another journalist was arrested and taken to the NIA. That time also many people think that I should stay away from politics, and they feel skeptical. When I even called the youths that we should go, they told me that I'm not going because my family told me to stay away.
Can you please tell us about the Batakunku incident? When was this?
I can't recall, but we were at a meeting where some police officers came and they said they will arrest us. But I could remember one Bahum was there as their head. He's at Trrc police station before.
And did they tell you the reason why they were arresting you?
No, we are just on that meeting. We didn't even know what is going on, and our chairman decided to run away and leave us. We saw some elderly people telling us that I'm going to perform ablution, I'm doing this, but we didn't know that something is going wrong. We just concentrating on the meeting. But later we find out that the police surrounded everywhere and they said we are under arrest.
Can you please tell us what the nature of the meeting was? What was the meeting about?
This was the house-to-house campaign being organized by the youth wing, because by then we cannot afford to mount on political rallies. We do it like every quarterly of the year. So we did our mass sensitization at the grassroots level by going to the chairmen and women and ask them to call people within that area so that we can talk to them.
During this time, was it in preparation of any form of election, or was it just a normal campaign?
Yeah, we did this as a normal campaign because we cannot have rallies in all the places. So before we have the rally, the quarterly rally, we do the sensitization so that when the rally time is about to come, many people will be alerted.
As at the time you were rounded up and arrested, do you know for how long you were arrested? Can you recall?
Sorry?
Can you recall for how long you were arrested with respect to the Batakunku incident?
No, when we reached at the police station, they released me and they left the men there.
Do you know if they were eventually released that day?
Yes, they were released, and we went back home. Day after, they went and arrested the chairman of the area. So when they arrested the chairman, Solo Sandeng called me that our chairman was arrested and we are the cause of everything, so we need to go there. Whatever the cause might be, we need to go there. So he called me. He called Honorable Fake Bakoli, Jere Fati. We have a small team, a technical team for that matter, that is running the affairs of the youth wing. So I think we only have 2 female. We do have other representatives, but the active one is I and Aramata Demba of Birkama. So we joined the team. We went to see the chairman at the police station, and Solo told the officer in charge that we went and organized this meeting at this man's residence. If you are to arrest, you are to arrest us and release this man. Then that was the time they got arrested and they released the man.
Who was Solo Sandeng?
This was the man who was beaten to death by the NIA at April 14.
Did he hold any major roles in the party?
By then, he was the Secretary General of the National Youth Wing.
Kindly tell us about the Tujering incident.
The Tujering incident was, we are just on a meeting and they said we should not conduct that meeting at that place, so we just got arrested. But I think after they were released.
Were you part of the people that were arrested during the Tujering incident?
Yes, I was there, but when I reached the police station, one officer told me that I'm going to be an independent witness. He released me, then I go home and called Mr. Dabo. I told him that we got arrested at Tujering, but I was released. But these police officers who arrested us are the same police officers who gave us a permit, and I have a copy of that permit. So he told me to take the permit to him. Then I decided to copy and keep the copy and give the other copy to him. I think later they went to court. When they had that, they issued us a permit. I think the case was thrown out.
For these 2 incidents, do you know on what charges that you were arrested?
Well, I think one of the charges among them is unlawful assembly. I cannot even remember.
And as far as you can recall, you mentioned that you had a permit for the Tujering incident. Did you also have a permit for the Batakunku incident?
No, for the Batakunku incident, we are not using microphone. We were just having a sensitization at our chairman compound. But for the Tujering incident, we have a form of program, because somebody just sent us a money that we should have enjoy ourselves, because we've been in the struggle for the past years. We are not being paid, so we need to get something. So we said it's not healthy for us to take this money and go and make any party, but rather we should organize something and bring our supporters together and do the political activity. So during that meeting, there are some members from the APRC who cross-carpet the Green Youths to the UDP, and this was captured by those journalists, Seni Marina and the other, I can't recall the name. So they too got arrested.
What did you make of these 2 incidents, the Batakunku incident and the Tujering incident? What did you make up of?
The Tujering program was a big program. We were using microphones, and we have a musical jamboree too.
The question really is, why do you think you were targeted and arrested?
Well, I don't know. I don't know, but I think because that place was a very stronghold of the APRC. But after the incident, I heard that the alcalde of the area reported us that we do have campaign at the area.
Apart from the Batakunku incident and the Tujering incident, were you ever arrested again during your political career?
No, I was never arrested except April 14, 2016.
Can you please tell us about the incident of April 14th, 2016?
April 14, 2016, I was from school, MDI. On my way back, I meet my colleague at Westfield, and these people were chased by paramilitaries, and they started running into different directions. So that was the time I and some of them got arrested. We were thrown inside a pickup. We were taken to PIU headquarters at Kanifing. From there, we were escorted to...
Sorry, I just want to take you back a little bit so that we can get clarity as to what happened on that particular day. You said you were from school, and where did this incident actually occur?
At Westfield.
Can you please describe exactly where at Westfield?
It's at the, I think it's the at the highway there, at the Johnson.
When you arrived at Westfield that day, what did you observe?
I observed that some people were gathered. Among them are my party militants.
Which party are you referring to?
UDP.
Can you please tell us what the gathering was all about?
Well, I cannot be specific because it was so crowded. I cannot describe.
What were they doing in that gathering?
Well, there was a mixture of both the police and the civilians, so, and there is a big push and pull.
What kind of push and pull?
There was military officers chasing people, and there is a resistance from the other group.
As at the time you arrived, was that the exact time that you saw this push and pull, or did you stay there for a while before the push and pull happened?
Well, I cannot recall all these things, but I think I observed some of these things like that.
That's what I'm trying to understand. When you arrived, was there a push and pull already? Did you meet a push and pull happening between the police officers and the crowd that was gathered there? Or did you come then later on? The police came and then the push and pull happened?
Yes.
Which is which, please?
After. Yeah.
So now let's talk about while you were there before the arrival of the police officers. What was the crowd doing?
This is a different group. Some are gathered there, some are there, and some are... they didn't stay at one place.
What was the purpose of the gathering, if you know?
Well, I came to know that the purpose of the gathering was for protesting for electoral reform.
Do you know if they had any placards with them or anything?
Can you repeat the question?
Did you know if they had any banners or any placards with respect to what they were protesting for?
Yes, I know of one that was for electoral reform.
Can you recall some of the people that were gathering there, some of the leaders of that protest?
I cannot recall all of them.
Please give us the names of the ones you can recall.
I only recall them when everybody got arrested and picked in a truck.
The crowd that was gathered there, were they chanting or saying anything?
No.
They were just walking by.
Yeah.
So once you were standing there and the crowd was walking by, what happened?
We saw the officers chasing the other crowd from that direction coming to the other end.
Which officers are you referring to, please?
The PIU officers.
And can you please tell us how they were chasing the other crowd coming towards you?
They are chasing them to get them arrested.
Can you please tell us if the officers had anything on them that day?
Some of them have their riot gears with them. Some were carrying batons.
And can you please tell us what you observed about how they were chasing people?
Well, I cannot observe. The only thing I can observe was my own. When one of them chased me, and later it was joined by two, and they get me inside the truck.
Before you got into the truck, can you please tell us how that happened?
Well, because everybody is running for his or her own safety, so I cannot explain how this happened at that.
I'm talking about you personally. You said they chased you and then you were put in a truck. So how were you put in a truck?
We were thrown inside the truck. I met some of my colleagues there.
Did they do anything to you before putting you inside the truck?
They just threw me inside, and I asked why. One of the officers slapped me. So I just hide my safe for my safety. And when one of the old man was there, he told them that I'm not part of this, I'm not part of this, by the name Kalilu Sedikan. He told them that I was looking for my fish money at the mayor's residence. I'm not among. So I could recall one officer slapped the man twice and spoke to him in a Mandinka. Nkwemu Keba Solimaleti. And they just drove out from the place.
Can you please help us interpret what was said in Mandinka?
He told the old man that, like, you are known less in a Mandinka language, Kwemu Keba Solimalti.
Okay, and after that, what happened?
After that, we were taken to PIU.
Roughly, can you recall how many people were put into that truck?
I cannot recall, but I think the number is 22 or 27.
Did you recognize anyone else that was put into the truck?
Yes.
Please, can you tell us the people you recognized in the truck?
In the truck, Modungom, Langmarong, Fatoumatta, Nogoy Njai, Kalilu Sedikan, 2 students from Gunjur, Abubakar Jite, Kafubayo, Lasana Biyai, Alaji Jamme, Modu Toure, Modu Fati. I cannot recall the others. And Falang Sonko.
As far as you can recall, how many women were in that truck?
3.
That would be yourself?
Nogoy Njai, Fatoumatta.
You also mentioned that 2 students were in that truck. How did you know that they were students?
I heard it from my colleagues when we were at the NIA.
Concentrating on that particular truck, did anything happen to you while you were in that truck? You mentioned that you were slapped. Did anything else happen to you?
Not at all.
How about the others in the truck?
I didn't see it.
Where were you taken from where you were?
PIU headquarters.
And where was this PIU headquarters?
Kanifing.
From the journey from Westfield to PIU headquarters, did anything happen on the way?
No.
Did they tell you the reason why you were being arrested?
No.
Did they do anything to you while you were being driven from Westfield to the PIU?
No.
Can you please tell us what happened upon your arrival at the PIU?
Upon our arrival at the PIU, we went to a big hall where we sit down, and a panel was brought and photographs were taken. We saw some security officers from different institutions and security heads. They were discussing among themselves.
Did this happen immediately upon your arrival at the PIU, or did it take a while before that happened?
They came after our arrival.
How long did you stay at the PIU before the arrival of the security heads?
These people were immediately we were brought. They came there.
Did they charge you with any offense while you were at the PIU?
No.
Did they take your statement while you were at the PIU?
I cannot recall. No.
You mentioned that they took some pictures. Did they tell you the reason why they were taking those pictures?
No.
Can you please tell us how this taking of the picture was conducted?
They took single photos of each and every one of us. They brought some banners and they gave it to one Mohammed Jaune and Nogoy Njai, and they took photos of the banners too, and some flyers and Rasul.
The banners that they gave you to take pictures with, where did they come from?
Well, I saw them from the security officers.
Can you recall what was written on the banners?
Among them, I saw electoral reform, and I saw another one, Jame must go.
You mentioned the presence of security chiefs there. Did they do or say anything while they were there?
No.
And how did you know that there were security chiefs there?
I saw them.
Who did you in particular see?
I didn't know them by then, but later Pat Kamara and Nogoy told me, this one is the interior, this one is the IG.
And do you know?
And I could recall seeing one of the officers there who solo Sandeng took a money from his pocket and gave it to him that he should take the money to his family.
And which officer was that?
I don't know the name, but I think maybe Modungam or somebody might know, but I saw Solo giving him the money to take it to his family.
And do you know the names of these security chiefs you're referring to that were there?
I didn't know them before, but during our conversation at the prison, Fat Kamara and Nogoy told me that the interior was there and the IG.
Do you know who the interior minister was at that time?
It is Usman Sonko.
And who was the IG at that time?
I think it's Yankuba Sonko.
Did you get the chance to have a conversation among yourselves while you were gathered there at the PIU?
No.
Did they give you the opportunity to say anything while you were there?
No.
So after taking your pictures with the banners, what happened?
We were put in a separate vehicle again. I think Solo Sandeng, Nogo Njai, Modungom, and I don't know whether Kafubayo is among them. We are arranged in a pickup. The rest were parked in a truck.
Do you know the reason why you were separated then?
No.
And where were you taken?
We were taken to Mile 2 Central Prison.
Can you tell us what happened on your arrival at Mile 2 Central Prison?
On our arrival at Mile 2, our belongings were taken. We were searched, and they warned us strictly to be abide by the prison law.
Did they show you any charge sheet saying that you were charged for a particular offense or what?
No.
As at that time, can you recall the people that, because you mentioned that you were separated, can you recall the people that went with you to Mile 2?
Everybody was there except for Nogoi, Solo, and Modungom.
So Fat Kamara was with you at that time?
Yes.
Where in Mile 2 prison were you kept?
At the remand wing of the female wing.
You mentioned that you were from school on that particular day. Can you tell us please what you were wearing that day?
I was wearing a trouser and a top.
And did you have any other belongings with you then?
I have my hand out with me in my bag.
Was that handout taken when you arrived at Mile 2?
Well, I don't know. The bag was taken from me when we arrived at Mile 2.
Where did they keep you in Mile 2?
They kept me in a cell.
Which part of the cell? You know, there is the female wing on one side and there is the male wing. Which part of the cell were you kept?
The female wing, remand wing.
And can you please tell us the conditions in that cell?
It was very congested. Others have to lie down on the floor and others have to be on top.
And where did you lie down exactly in that congested place?
We don't have a space at that particular night, but the inmates were very supportive and they assist us that we should be strong, and they give us a place to lie down on top and they sacrifice to lie down on the floor.
How did you feel at that time being in prison?
Well, it's above explanation. And I told Fat Kamara that this is not the end. We will be taken to the NIA. He told me that if you came from a good family, you should speak something good. We haven't done anything.
Why did that thought cross your mind that you'll be taken to the NIA?
Because I've seen political opponents who got arrested, what they came across. Much more that we are accused of being protesting that Jammeh must go and so on.
Can you please tell us at what time you arrived at Mile 2 prisons that day?
This was in the afternoon.
Was it before or after the afternoon prayers?
I think it's after the afternoon prayers.
What happened after you were settled in on the female remand wing?
What happened was, late hours of night, the cell was knocked and they request for us to come out, and the inmates were praying for us. They told us that they will set you free. I told them that no. They said yes. One of the female told me that I have an unwanted pregnancy, but for you, your case is just a minor case. You will be released. We prayed to each other, and they gave us a message to carry to their families. When we came out...
So at the time when you had the knock on the door, you thought you were being released, right?
I never thought so. It's the inmates who thought that we will be released.
And at what time of the day was this? You've already told us that you arrived at Mile 2 after the afternoon prayers.
Yes. This was late hours of night.
Can you recall the time?
Well, I cannot recall, but it was very late.
So what happened afterwards?
When we came out from the prison, we were taken to the commissioner's office, and we saw the males also from the other side, the male wing. So one officer was holding my bag. I came to know her name later from Fatoumatta. I cannot speak Jola, but Fatoumatta said the lady told the NIA officers that, where are you carrying this female to? They are female. And this particular man responded that a woman who walks like a man get the payback of a man. So that was the time Fatoumatta told me that what you told me is coming. I said, what was that? She told me that, did you heard what this lady was talking to this man about? I told her, I don't know. I cannot speak their language. She told me that they are up to something.
Can you recall how many people came for you that night?
Well, I think it's their operation team, but there are many because there are many vehicles parked outside there.
Did you recognize any of the people that came for you?
The only person I can recognize is the driver.
Can you recall his name?
His name is Sehtijan Kamara.
Apart from Sehtijan Kamara, can you recognize any distinct feature in any of the people that came for you?
No, even Sheikh Omar, I came to know him when I was admitted at the hospital, when he came to see a college at the hospital.
Is it Sheikh Omar or Sehtijan Kamara? Which one is it?
Sorry, it's Sehtijan Kamara.
Thank you very much. After this particular NIA operative said that to you, what came to your mind then?
Can you repeat the question?
After they told you that, sorry, I can't say it in plain English. A woman that does a man's work, something like that. You mentioned it earlier. I can't recall all of it.
Yeah.
After he said that to you, what happened?
That was the time we were taken to the NIA. When they finished the conversation, they speak with the commissioner and the securities at the Nile 2. Then we were later escorted to NIA.
As far as you can recall, did the prison authorities protest when they were taking you out of prison at that particular time of the night?
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Did the prison authorities protest when they were removing you from prison at that particular time of the night?
Whether they were protected?
Whether they protested against it?
No. It's only the female prisoner who spoke to this man in their language.
And what did she tell them?
I can't speak the language. Fatoumatta told me that a guy told him that this is very unfair, these people are female, so you need to be very mindful. And he told him that a female who behaves like a man, you pay him a man job.
After that, where were you taken?
We are drove into the NIA.
At that point, being escorted in the middle of the night, how did you feel?
Well, I feel skeptical because when they take me to NIA, I believe anything can happen.
As far as you can recall, the people that came for you, were they all male or did they have some females among them?
They are all male.
Being in the midst of an all-male entourage operatives of the NIA at that time of the night, what came to your mind?
A lot has came to my mind, but I cannot do anything about it.
Can you please tell us exactly like what crossed your mind then?
Well, I cannot.
It's understandable. We'll proceed. So these all-male entourage escorted you to the NIA. Can you tell us how you were taken to the NIA from the prisons?
In the truck, I and Fatoumatta, we were at the middle. One escort was in the left hand and another escort was at the right hand. At the back of the pickup also is filled with men from the NIA.
While transporting you to the NIA, did they say anything to you on the way?
Those at the back were communicating. They were having a telephone conversation, but we can't hear them and we can't see outside because the vehicle was tinted. So
upon arrival at the NIA, can you please tell us what happened from the time the vehicle entered into the premises?
when the vehicle entered, I, Fatoumatta and Lamaro, we were taken to the same place where we were interrogated by one female. And this lady kept insisting on questions that if she asks me who are behind the protest, if I say I didn't know, she kept mentioning name. These are the one. I say no, I didn't know. She went to an extent of telling me that Mr. Dabo is part of it. I said no. And who are the sponsor of this problem? I said I don't know. So it was later after the interrogation, another one was taking Fatoumatta's statement and Lamaro. One man came in. He spoke in a Mandinka. He asked the lady whether she speaks. He said no, she's not cooperating. He went to Lamaro and told Lamaro that you are an elderly man, you don't want to speak, but if we deal with you, you will talk.
At the time when they were interrogating you, taking your statement, did they caution you?
Caution me on what?
Did they tell you like whatever you say will be used against you in court, or that you are charged for a particular offense?
No.
Were they writing down everything you were saying?
They were not writing what I was saying. This lady is just writing what she feels is okay for her. When I say so, she write, and she never saw me the statement. She just wrote it and kept it.
How did the lady appear to you?
Well, I cannot recall. She's not friendly at all. She's just pressuring me to say things that were not okay for me.
Can you recall the name of this lady?
I didn't know the name of the lady, but she's a sizable woman like you. She's fair in complexion a bit. That's the way I can describe her.
The person that came in and interrupted and asked if you have answered her questions, can you recall who it was?
I cannot recall, but when I heard the voice anywhere, I will recall that this is the one.
And what did this person do when he entered in?
He spoke to me and left and went to Lamarong also and told him that you don't want to talk, but if we deal with you, you will talk.
Can you please describe the setting of that place where you were seated and being asked questions?
Like, if you come inside the NIA, I think it's this end. Yeah. If you, I cannot, it's just like the right-hand side. If you came in, just turn right.
And can you please tell us what happened after your interrogation with this lady?
After the interrogation, a tall man came inside the room. He put on a t-shirt and a military trouser. He just checked me and I fall down where Fatoumatta is, Fatoumatta South. She told him, you are killing me. He said, why should you even allow them to sit on the seat? And this man just grabbed Fatoumatta and take him to the confinement where she was tortured, and later came back for me and Lamarong.
At the time when the man entered, can you please tell us the position with which you were in at that time?
I was sitting like the way I was sitting talking to you, and he came in and checked me. Fatoumatta was sitting there, Lamarong was sitting there, and there are other people sitting around.
Where exactly did he kick you?
At my waist.
What happened after he kicked you?
I fell down where Fatoumatta was, and Fatoumatta South. So, but we cannot do anything.
At this point, did the man say anything to you?
He said they should not even allow us to sit on their chairs. Why should the lady allow us to sit on their chairs? So we all sit down and on the floor and continue with continue giving out our statement until when he came back to collect us one by one.
At this point, when the man entered and kicked you and you fell on the ground and you continued sitting on the ground and you were interrogated, how did you feel?
Well, I cannot tell.
Can you please just help us describe what was going through your mind at that time?
Well, by then I think I was between death and life. I was between life and death.
You were scared.
Yes.
How about Fatoumatta? Did the same thing happen to her, like interrogating her and collecting her statement?
Yes.
Can you please tell us about what happened to her?
Well, I think after that they just pick her and take her to the confinement where she was tortured.
You mentioned Alamin Marong. Where was he when this was happening?
He was inside the same room with us.
Did anything happen to him?
Well, we were sitting where the man is coming and he's sitting at the corner.
When the man kicked you on your waist. Did you have any injuries as a result of that?
I still experience pain from that end, but the injuries that I have was when I was tortured.
Concentrating on what happened in that room, after they wrote your statement, did they read out your statement to you?
No.
Did they ask you to sign the statement?
Well, I think I did so. This lady was taking this statement with a laptop, I believe. I cannot recall.
Apart from this lady and the man that you said entered and kicked you, was there any other operative in the room?
Except the man who came in and asked the lady whether I was complying.
Can you recall the name of the man that entered and kicked you?
The one who kicked me? I cannot recall the name. I cannot.
You did mention that he was putting on a military shorts, right? Trousers.
Yeah.
Can you please describe him?
He's a tall man.
Is there any distinct feature that you can name that will make us have a mental picture of who this person is?
Well, no.
Apart from the person entering, asking you asking the lady whether you are complying with whatever she is asking you, did you hear anything else that will make you recognize any of the people that were in that room?
Sorry, can you repeat the question for me?
Apart from the man that entered asking the lady if you are complying with whatever she was asking you, did they say anything that will make you recognize who they were?
No.
After you were interrogated, can you please tell us what happened?
I was later grabbed by that same man who picked Fatoumatta and taken to the torture room.
Can you please describe what you refer to as the torture room?
The confinement area where we were beaten.
You did mention earlier that the place where you were interrogated was the first building on your right when you entered into the NIA. Can you describe where you were taken to be tortured?
This man just grabbed me from where I am sitting, then he turned back and went this way around.
And what happened when he took you?
When he took me there, they stretched me on top of a table. They pour water on me.
You mentioned this man grabbed me and took me there. That is one individual. Now, when he took you into that room, how many people were in that room?
I was blindfolded before I get to that place. But through the image, I can see there are around 20 or more.
You mentioned being blindfolded. What was used to blindfold you?
They have a scarf, form of scarf that they use to tie people's head, but they use my own hair tie to tie my face together with my head.
At what point were you blindfolded?
Immediately he grabbed me. Before we left the room, he just took the hair tie and tied my face.
Was it the same man that took you inside, that took your head tie to blindfold you?
Yes.
When he blindfolded you and led you into that room, can you please tell us what happened?
I was stretched on top of a table. They were pouring water on me. I cannot breathe, neither to move. So some of them hold my hands, some of them hold my legs, and some started beating me up.
Just so that we'll reach the wider audience, Mr. Chairman, I want to ask if the witness can continue her evidence in Mandinka so that the wider audience will get a better picture of what she's saying, given that it's about a human rights violation that occurred. Maybe we'll give the wider audience a chance to also listen to what happened to her. Ms. Jawara, are you comfortable with continuing your evidence in Mandinka?
It's okay, yes.
Thank you very much.
Fine, that's okay. Counsel, you may continue if that's okay with the witness. Please proceed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll just give time to the interpreters to switch. Well, thank you very much. So we'll start from the point where you were in the room and you were blindfolded. And you will start from narrating from that point in Mandinka. You can go ahead, please.
When I was blindfolded and taken into the room,
I was stretched on a table. Some held onto my hands, others held onto my legs. They continued the beatings from there. Before the beatings, they started pouring water on me until I nearly fainted. And then they continued with the beatings.
the beating, they don't choose, they can beat me at any part of my body. They were beating from my head to the other parts of my body. They beat me up to the point when they were satisfied. That's the time when they took me to the room where that panel was seated.
You mentioned that they poured water on you before they started beating you. What was the temperature of the water they poured on you?
It was cold.
The cold you were referring to, is it freezing cold as in from the fridge, or was it normal cold water from the tap?
Ako ekasumaya memfoteng amunta jio membota frijo kono wala mengalas mamu wala fodum pompito jiole membe sumayari mennim pompito jiola sumaya kanyanta.
Ala la long abota damen to bari ab sumayari ne.
Well, only God knows where it's from, but it was cold.
You said you were being beaten everywhere on the part of your body.
Yes.
Could you feel what they were using to beat you?
Nyada nin kungo bebe sitirin ne bari amuntan fe ko batinole mu do ko nyin ala bamba nyaka amuntan fe ko batinole.
Well, as my eyes and head were tied up, but it looks like they were using a baton on me because it was something very strong.
You did also mention that your eyes were tied. How about your nose? Were you able to breathe freely by virtue of the cloth that was used to tie your eyes?
Akondu ikeni ji no le bang ye nya siti nyamen sitiro bang fute nungo bang fo be ni ji kanenu.
Sitiro nyin keta nyamen ite ni ji no le te dunia ken fenne ken wala because ya sitile abambanta ni ji dula buka soto ka muru nyaada bala kana murundi ton ko maka siti wala tin liparo wato jampata nyaawo nyang amam firino.
Well, how they tied it was very strong. In fact, it came up to the point of my nose and they tied it behind my head. Well, to breathe was very difficult for me. They went on beating, but however the beating was intense, this knot was unable to be untied. They kept on beating me with the knot tied around my head and around my head.
The water that you said that was poured on you, was it poured on only your body? How about the other parts of your body, like your head?
Akoye jiyo memboy kangonya. Afutate balo dula bele makari kaboy kumoto fokata balo be kambam fo jiyo dante balo mintole.
Jiyo nyimfana na bongo ye wati janneta jannika liparo kumasi.
The pouring of the water took a long time before the beating started.
So in the beginning, they poured water on you and waited for a while.
Ako amonta folota nyamen ye jiole folo bongi kan fa meta do manding ye batu ko la lo minata liparo damuta.
Batundiro mankeje biritole jiyoke kam foy fongoli alon ko nyim jambe sirat ale babalo sinantal kende kedro liparo komasi wold.
There was no waiting. After they poured water on me until they were satisfied that my whole body was wet, that was when the beating started.
You did tell us earlier in your evidence that the day you were arrested, you were wearing trousers. Were you wearing the same trousers when you went to the NIA?
Honey?
No.
What were you wearing?
When I was going to the NIA, I was putting on a wrapper.
And where did you get this wrapper from?
I get the wrapper from an inmate. Sorry. Fano nyinga bonde prisoner dole bulumail to Wolem Fuala, Kabirin Kanala.
I was borrowed a wrapper by one of the inmates from the prison when I was coming.
As at the time they were beating you, was your wrapper still on?
The first beating,
at
that time I can recall I was still on the wrapper. But after the first beating, that was when I was brought to the panel room.
My apologies. For how long did that beating last?
It was a long time.
Can you estimate how long you were lying there and being beaten?
Wato nyin jam fatale biri fangoli liparo ke foyaje ko nyimbuka mamanu abuka fenkeno utumole yam faiduma.
The beatings took a long time. It was until they realized that this guy was not making any movement, that was when I was pushed down.
Biri yam faiduma yankuruntule.
When I was pushed down, I was being dragged until I got into the panel room.
At the
panel room, I found many people. When they started questioning me, I was unable to talk.
You mentioned that after they've beaten you for several times, you were not able to move. You were pulled away from the table and thrown aside. At that point, can you tell us the injuries he had sustained from that beating?
what time mbalo dula jamal be faratalenu.
At that time, many parts of my body suffered cuts.
Inatam fay duma.
I was then thrown down.
It's
not as if they carried me from the table and brought me down. I was thrown away, thrown down. And then I was dragged to that room to be questioned again.
Before you were dragged to the questioning room, did they remove the blindfold from your face?
Janibe kurundula ke samba o rumoto panelo be dame uye nyabo sitirin neba.
Kabirim futata bundato leng ya firing.
It was when I got to the door, that was when it was untied.
Bitu inatan dundi yes sindi.
Then I was taken inside and made to sit.
Mbuka sino wataye mbuka fenkeno.
At that time I was unable to sit, I was unable to do anything.
Nata busandi.
Then I fell.
Camera bondinka.
And so they took a camera.
And
then they forced me to sit down again. I used to hear people speaking, but I was not able to see them or even to realize what was going on. But I hear voices and I hear them questioning. The same questions are the ones that they continued asking. They were asking me, who are you involved in this, that I should name them. And then they followed me, trying to find out if Lawyer Dabo is aware of what was happening. I was not able to hear them, but to realize what was being said, but I kept telling them that he had nothing to do with what was happening.
The panel that you were brought before, I understand that you said you were not very conscious then. But can you recall how many people were seated there?
There were many people. And the questioning also, they will be asking you questions almost at the same time.
Do you know if the panel that was questioning you, do you know whether they were all NIA operatives or whether they were from other security outlets?
Yalla no foy be NIA le bang fodolo bota canton in tankada bunda la security bunda kotengol.
Ma along fodol sibo fanna do la bari na jikoto jamal be NIA jele.
I do not know if some of them could have come from other security outlets, but my belief is that most of them were NIA officers.
You also mentioned that you were being questioned and asked about who had planned the demonstration.
Yenyum foko be nyininka kantumo men ike nyininka le ko juma nin juma nyolle wo balambaya kolu mamandi.
Apart from those kind of questions, did they ask you any other type of questions?
Of kuman o nyininka fasongol ko la fo nyininka kudol la bang menu ni wolte kilindi.
Wo nyininka dulalta ni nyininka kudol la melom bari tumado nyininkaro dol nata kele butumo mbelari loptanodo.
At that time, perhaps some other questions that they were asking I wasn't aware, but there was a subsequent questioning that happened while I was admitted at the hospital.
You mentioned that you were taken immediately from the torture room before the panel.
Yenyum foko biriye bondi wo lipardulato long ye samba panelo nyatilimula.
At that point, was it visible to the panel members that you were tortured?
Ako tembo fo menu be panelo to ul fangulu ya cross le ban ko ibotete li pala le ban.
Ibeba kala mutarene.
All of them were aware. Because at that time, the condition that we were in, anybody within their right senses, if you should see a human being in that condition, you will know that something happened to this individual. Because they brought me and they brought Fatoumatta. And I think there was a video which was also in the possession of some lawyers. Even if a lot of it was erased, I think some of that video was out in the public.
So it was quite visible to the members of the panel then that you were tortured.
Woto amunta seneyata la kweta o panelo mulu maleko atel mu molleti e menul lipa ke tajireya.
Yes.
You also mentioned Fatoumatta.
Ye Fatoumatta fanana kumo.
Do you know what happened to her?
Fayalo na menketa o fanana bang.
Yes, because at that time I used to hear screams. And the scream was the voice of Fatoumatta. And when she was brought where I was seated, that was where she was made to rest on her back there. When I touched her, I then realized that this was a woman.
And the groans which were coming from her.
Because Nogai was more built than all of us. And while we were going to the NIA, we were arranged together. So that was why when I saw that, I knew that that was Fatoumatta.
Thank you very much, Madam Witness. Mr. Chairman, I can already see that it's time for our first break. Maybe this will be a convenient time to stop and then proceed after the break.
Lawyer ko ayajalo ko na daha follow watu sitale woto asibete ajang na fonyo demanding for daha follow uchewe bala.
Thank you very much, Council. We will take a 30-minute break and come back at 12 noon. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.